very useful to follow. So the truth is, who is buying? Okay. Well, many people is buying. Security vendors are buying to protect their customers. Governments are buying to protect their people. To protect, right? Yes, to serve and protect. And well, criminals are buying. Private companies are buying. Pen testing companies are buying. I don't know if you guys follow the mailing list, but recently, like, Solar Designer released an exploit, and he says openly, like, hey, I wrote this exploit for a pen test company that asked me to write the exploit. But that's very common, okay? Companies buy exploits for different reasons. Some of them might be good, some of them might not, but the matter is, people are buying, and because people are buying, not many people are releasing for free anymore, okay? This creates the problem that I said, because the new people in the market, they don't have basis to learn anymore. They don't have, hey, let's look into this amazing exploit that somebody released and try to understand how he exploited this vulnerability so I can try to exploit a similar issue in another software. That's not happening anymore. Also, you can see that a lot of the new techniques, exploitation techniques, instead of being released on Frack or magazines such as Frack, nowadays they are being released in the middle of conferences, right? Everybody wants to go to Black Hat and give a talk, to Hackito and give a talk, to H2HC and give a talk, right? It's fun to go to Brazil, right? So the researchers want to go there. And because of that, the papers on the standard place, on the underground place, are disappearing, and what's in the place is talks, slides, right? A lot of slides that convince people that it's cool, but it's very hard to learn from them. So I separated 5 security myths that I believe are destroying the security industry. And the idea here is just to share that with you. Maybe I am completely wrong regarding these myths, but maybe I have a point. And I will try to make an argument on my point. And because I'm giving the talk, my argument will be listened by everybody, and it's going to be difficult for anybody to refute, right? So the first one is an article called "The Market for Lemons." This article is an amazing article. It really changed my way to look into problems after I read this article. It's nothing related to security, but basically the guy talks about asymmetry of information. He uses the car market to define what he wanted to pass. So basically, when you are selling a used car, why the price goes down so fast? Basically, it's because the owner knows a lot about the car, but somebody who is buying don't know much. He don't really know the state of the car. He don't know why the guy wants to sell the car. Maybe the guy wants to sell because he wants the new one, or maybe he wants to sell because there's a problem in the braking system. I don't know, right? So this asymmetry exists in the security industry. And that's one of the biggest problems that we have in the industry. How do we define the experts? Who are them? Right? We see a CISSP is an expert. What do you say? It's not it's a security certification, right? So it's certifying that you are an expert. How many hours do you need to study to pass to this certification? 2? 1? No? I don't know. I never did it, so I'm not against the certification. What I'm saying is the certification alone means nothing, okay? And this is one of the problems that we have with the industry. We define our own standards, right? So we define, hey, all the IPS vendors come and say, hey, this company now is the company that certifies IPS. So well, the company is defined, everybody pays to this company to test their product. There might be something wrong with that. The vendor is paying some company to do a third-party test with their product. The result will come out. Why I will pay if the result is going to be bad? There is no reasons, right? So that's a matter. If you look into the results, all the results are good. So why companies are still getting hacked? If all the products solve all the problems, I don't understand what is going on. It's probably the hackers are doing something wrong, really. The other problem is the politics defines the auditing, right? Sarbanes-Oxley said, hey, everybody needs to have an IPS. Wow, the guy there, he really understands about computer security, huh? He really knows a lot. He's an expert, right? He's a politician as a hobby, right? But his real work is security research, right? He's writing exploits all the time. It's like we had a debate in Brazil, and it was really cool because they wanted to create a law that says the providers, the ISPs, needs to keep track of all the information of the user. So during this debate, there was a bunch of ISPs, and there was the politician that created the idea of the law, right? And he was saying, no, it's so easy to just log all the information of the user. It's so easy, you just log it, right? You just log it, keep it there, right? And when we need it, you just search for it. It's easy like that. Wow, I have unlimited storage, and my searching capabilities is so high, and it's so easy to do. It's not expensive at all. Come on, guys. It's easy. He did a computer degree like 15 years ago, so he knows it's easy, right? He was using to search stuff on the floppy drive. It was so fast to search on the floppy drive, so he knows it's possible. So the second myth, there is no all-day risk. Well, basically, there is no all-day risk. Well, tell me HP Gary, Adobe, Google, right? There is no all-day risk, RSA. There's another article that I like to point, which is much bigger, which is Crime and Punishment from Becker. Becker, by the way, won a Nobel Prize in economics. And Becker was the first economical, I don't know how do you name it, the professional, but whatever. He was the first one that had the balls to say there is no way to really fix all the crimes. There is just no way. It's too expensive, so it's not worth to even try. So don't try to stop all the crimes. That's what he claims in the article. And actually, he makes the point, hey, we can get into some level, but it's impossible to really stop the crime. So maybe it's time for us to stop thinking, hey, we can't stop everything. Let's stop what we can, and let's deal with the real threats, the threats that make sense to deal with. Kids changing the website is not a threat that makes sense to deal with. It's not going to cause too much troubles. But real hackers getting to the system and getting real data from the company, like for example, your millions of contracts with the government, sounds not a good idea, okay? By the way, encrypt your emails so you avoid people releasing them on the internet. There is no 100% security. That's one of the points that I will make when I talk about security products, because there is no guarantees. That's the best market to work, right? You don't need to give guarantees, okay? Hey, use my product. It works. Okay, so if I've been hacked, I will sue you? No, there is no guarantees it will work always. It will work in some case. Which ones? In the false positives. Every time that I alert something that is not true, it means the product is detecting something, right? Maybe that's why they put a lot of high level of false positives. And well, the security nowadays is highly based on the S factor. Have you guys ever heard about the S factor? No? So the S factor is like, why should I buy from vendor X? Well, because everybody is doing so. It makes sense, right? It covers my ass. So the S factor actually was passed to me. This information, it's very helpful actually in the life, by one guy. He was a high position in a company that has 3 letters, and I worked for, and it's a big company. And you know, he went there to give a motivational talk, right, to the research team. And he started out saying, hey, do you know why somebody buys from this company with 3 letters? Then everybody, wow, because it has high quality, oh, because it has global presence, or whatsoever you want to answer. And said, no, People buy because we are like a big ass. So you know where or what you need to, right? If you have problems. And that's the problem that we have with security. Okay, I go there and I have a really cool, nice solution. That's not enough. You are a big ass or not. But if you are a big ass, you don't need to have the nice, cool solution. So, well, another myth. The computer power is growing. So people tend to say, yeah, we can solve everything on the perimeter. We just need to put more computer power over there, right? Just put more computers. Yeah! Moore's law. But I need to tell you, that's not true. Okay? That's not true. Security does not benefit with the computer growing power. Why is that? Because as more computer power as you have, as more people will use the endpoint to process stuff. So compression is becoming a standard. Soon, everything that passes to the network will be compressed. So it's going to be much more work for the IPS or whatsoever you put in your perimeter to analyze. It's not getting better. Sorry, guys. The computer power is growing, but the problem to inspect in the perimeter is growing faster because of that. Okay? So that's something for you to think about. So in the end, the gateway will always have more work to do. So we are not benefiting from the hardware growing. Another myth related to the IPS. I'm not against the IPS, just to make it clear, okay? I'm really not against the IPS. I'm just against you to blindly deploy something. It's better to understand what you are doing and to assume the risks are not of what you are doing. But well, many people seem to believe that the IPS is a bunch of parsers running in one machine. Well, sorry for telling you the truth, but it's more likely to be a lot of pattern matching like technologies, a little bit more tried to have some kind of awareness of what they are trying to look. And why is that? Because they need performance. And well, sorry to say, most of the filters, security filters, are like that. Like Internet Explorer. Like all the cross-site scripting protections in Internet Explorer are pattern matching like technologies. And well, they are not really the best technologies to parse protocols such as HTTP, for example. Well, talking about complex file formats, so even more difficult, okay? Don't expect a bunch of parsers, real parsers. There are some, by the way, but not a lot. Well, everybody believes IPS is a bridge, so what? Actually, it does interact with the packets, right? It needs to inspect. It needs to pass the packets in a lot of different paths, right? So it can be exploited as any other piece of software, okay? So it seems to be a legend that the IPS cannot be exploited. That's not true. Poor source fighter guys, they know better, right? So another thing, virtual patching. I hate this virtual patching, right? You look into the marketing materials, and I'm really sorry to say that the company that I worked for